Hello. Everything is good. Are we on? You guys can hear. All good. So, welcome everyone to another Rainbow Six mobile dev briefing. I am Ollie, game director of Rainbow Six Mobile, and we are here today in the Montreal office. Everyone is working hard, and it's a big update today from going to be talking about improvements to ranked matchmaking, leaderboards, match history, and the continued expansion of the training hub. Of course, something we've been cooking is a brand new permanent mode, and we'll be talking about that, showing you a quick glimpse. And I'll talk also about improvements to graphics, to hit registration, network stability. So let's start. Let's start this off with the big elephant in the room with some updates on the competitive matchmaking. So I first wanted to talk about what we've been doing and, of course, what's happened to the Firesteam restrictions. Just so everyone knows, we do make weekly updates. We make adjustments to our matchmaking all the time. And basically, a lot of you were complaining about stacked matchmaking and how it can feel unfair, especially at legendary ranks. And at Master, coordinated 5 stacks had a pretty significant advantage. So gold, platinum, and diamond players climbing the ladder could end up facing those teams. So recently we did introduce Fireteam restrictions, and we do see a trend. So Master players did go from 60 to 70% to 50% win rate. So that's where everyone is about. And we know that this is actually very it's kind of the change we wanted to see, but it wasn't what we expected because we know this change wasn't popular with everyone. And Rainbow Six is a team game, and if you've climbed all the way to Master with your friends, and now you're being told you can't play with your friends, obviously it's not ideal, and we understand that. So what we're seeing tells us that there's something real to solve, but it doesn't mean the restriction is a perfect solution. And that's why we're already working on the next step, which is called Fireteam matchmaking. So rather between choosing between fair matches and being able to play with your squad, we want to do a better job at solving both. And it's very simple. Fireteam matchmaking is what we're calling it. If you're playing as an organized team, matchmaking should try to find you another organized team. And in this case, we're targeting 5 stacks. So if you're playing in a 5 stack, you'll only be playing against other 5 stack. So this is going to help prevent full master teams from possibly, I mean, if you're in a 5 stack in Diamond, you'd be playing against 5 stacks in Diamond, possibly in other ranks too. And from there, we want to explore smarter matchmaking, which is more adaptive. So this would be the next step and might be something in between. And we'll be rolling out something very soon, but this one would be a bit more complex. So having maybe duos and trios versus duos and trios, solos against solos, but maybe they will flex between. And we'll be rolling out something fairly soon, and we'll kind of update you all what the expected behavior should be. But this is kind of the direction we're going, and it'll please follow us on socials because we will be rolling this out as soon as we can. And that is basically the first step. So moving on, we're still going to be talking about ranked updates. I'd like to talk about some rank balancing. So as you move into Platinum, Diamond, and Master, the population drops pretty significantly, and that makes matchmaking harder at those ranks. So we're making another pass on rank progression. And first, we're increasing the amount of Valor XP you can earn from performance. So the factor really is about how you perform in the match, you will get more Valor. And so what we're doing, 3 changes here. We're increasing the amount of score, basically Valor you get from your score by 4. We're increasing the amount of Valor you can get per match up to 100. And actually, we're giving you more Valor per win. So the more you perform well, the better Valor you get. Next up is a pretty big change. We're also adjusting gold, diamond, and platinum division, medals per division. So going from 4 medals to 3 medals. Platinum is going to be going from 5 to 4, and diamond's going to be going from 6 to 5. So it'll be a little bit easier to grind. It'll be improving the spread throughout the different ranks. And this is really going to help matchmaking in general to be a bit more sharp. And yes, we're going to be monitoring this change as we do every ranked season, and we'll be doing more adjustments. Of course, your feedbacks is welcome. Next up, I'd like to talk about the competitive future. So what we'll be doing, not in this update, but in future updates, we'll be looking at doing a tiered reset rank. So higher ranked players will still have to climb again, but we won't be putting everyone back to exactly the same bucket. And this should give us a much healthier rank distribution from the beginning of the season. So if you were really in gold, we don't want you to be playing against masters off the bat, and this is gonna help that start of the season. Moving forward, we wanted to give you a snapshot of our ranked hub. We've talked about the ranked shop before, so this isn't in the next update, so I'm not going to go deep dive, but I wanted to let you guys know today we have a working version in build. The goal is to have an improved rank economy, a shop, currency, and basically an improved ladder with possibly bigger events for the rank community. And we'll definitely deep dive this in the future dev briefing. But yes, we are iterating on a version now in the dev build. Next up, quick update on caster mode. We've been working on the feature. We're moving on. It's again too early to talk, but we wanted to at least give you some early mock-ups on the design side, and we still have some work ahead. And we'll definitely have some more news on this in the next dev brief. Cool. So we've kind of wrapped up a bit some of the competitive updates. I'd like to talk about our new permanent game mode, Close Quarters. So it's a big one, and I'd like to introduce what this is all about. It's really a 3v3 mode built around a much faster Rainbow Six experience. We see that the 3v3 mode in general is very popular among the players, and the whole point is having short rounds. Both teams have the same trio of operators, and the map is symmetrical, so you can understand the setup quickly and get straight into action. You still have operators, gadgets, destruction, all the tactical play you have from Rainbow Six, but it just moves a lot faster. Best of 5 rounds, the end, it's pretty fast, especially the transition between rounds. So before, instead of explaining everything, I'm actually going to give you a bit more. And so here, this image here is the map Resolute. So it's on the boat of the Resolute. And let's actually jump into some gameplay to show you all how it looks. So you can actually win a round by eliminating the other team, but after 30 seconds, the objective zone also becomes. So if your team controls a zone for 8 seconds, you win the round. So it is a variant of zone control and secure area. And that's when, yeah, so as you can see, there is a lot of a focus on destruction. And another very important note is the different operators. Again, the same trio on both sides, and we do have we support many trios for this game mode. It is a permanent mode, and we want to see your feedback. We really believe it helps also that the sessions you have. Of course, ranked is the bread and butter in our game, and we are investing heavily in ranked, but we also wanted to give a game for players to warm up quickly, a game that kind of gives you that R6 experience in a faster session. Excited for you guys to try this out, and it'll be going live in the next episode. Next, let's talk about leaderboards. So we are actually doing a pretty big revamp on leaderboards, and until now, the leaderboards have mostly been about ranked. So going forward, we want competition to exist across the entire game. We're introducing dedicated leaderboards for each playlist. So that includes ranked, of course, arcade, quick play, close quarters, and our limited time modes. That means if quick play is your thing, you can compete there. If you live in arcade, you can climb there too. And as you play, you'll earn leaderboard points based on your performance and continue to climb that playlist leaderboard. One of the biggest changes is that your position won't just live inside a menu. It'll live everywhere in the game, just so you understand where you're at and how far you are from the top. You'll see this actually in the Fireteam lobby, the playlist screen, and directly in the post-match as well. The idea is that competition is more visible everywhere, and so that everything you do contributes to something. And we don't stop there actually. We've actually also created regional leaderboards for the players. So we have 6 main regions: Canada and USA, Europe, Latin America, Asia and Oceania, India and MENA, and the rest of the world. So these are our big groups. And by default, the leaderboard you see throughout the game will be your regional leaderboard. We think this really makes the competition a lot more personal. And of course, you're going to be seeing like maybe some names that you've seen around your region, and it'll really push the rivalry a bit more. This is the first step. We have a lot more ideas around rivalry events and ways to compete. And we won't talk about that now, but we really want to see how you guys interact and what you guys want to see out of this feature in the future. Next up, we've added something a lot of players have been asking for, and that is match history. So now you'll find a section directly in your player profile. You click on it, and voila, you'll see actually your recent matches. And what you can do with this is, well, you can track your recent history. You can show your friends your beautiful win streak. You can stare at your horrible losing streak. It also gives you a useful record if you need to go back, report a toxic behavior, because you can actually open the scoreboard. You can see the link there on the right. And in the future, we are going to add more features like the operators you've played alongside more useful match info. So check it out. Tell us what information you want to see next. And yeah, this has been a big feature requested by a really engaged part of the community. So hopefully you guys are happy with this. Cool. Next, I'd like to give you a small update on our training hub, with an new operator being added to our training hub, who is Fuse. So we do have a new operator mission, a new combat training, and which basically teaches you how to use Fuse, how to use the gadget properly, how to move enemies, how to destroy utility, and of course a little situation that puts it all together. We're already working on more academy missions alongside better reasons and incentives to come back to the academy, and we'll have more news on that in the next step. So graphics settings, exciting one. Actually, today we have some really good news for you all. We have given a lot more control to you guys for graphics and performance. We are expanding our beta frame rate options to 90, 120, 144, 165, and even up to 240. Your phone can support it. So this is a pretty big change, and it's not just your phone, it's just your display. So our philosophy now is if your screen supports the refresh rate, we'll give you the option. And that doesn't necessarily mean your hardware can maintain 165 or 240. We're leaving that choice up to you, so you can find out what works best for your device. And we're also adding a new system called render scale setting. So this actually allows you to lower your render resolution to prioritize performance, or raise it in case you want better image quality. So again, this is super exciting news. And there are some limitations, like I was saying, like for lower memory devices. But overall, this device gives us options. We want to give you more options. So this is good news for the community. Cool. I'd like to do a short segment on both hit registration and network stability. We'd like to say that we've fixed 2 important issues this update, that both were related to how the client and server stay synchronized during combat. In some cases, the server could calculate the wrong offset for the player's position, which created more frustrating moments. And we've reduced the divergence and also improved how the client and server resynchronize. So a lot of technical things here, but the main thing is these are significant fixes, and we expect it to really improve hit registration quite a bit. We are still investigating more, and if you guys encounter more next update, please, send us videos. It's very helpful because it'll tell us a bit more about how it looks at your perspective. Next, a little message on latency and network stability. We've made big improvements to regional placement and match composition, which is helping match players to the correct servers. But we are still investigating, and we have a huge jump on basically packet loss and latency jitter. We've identified areas in the netcode where we're not compensating enough, and that's what our team is actively working on. We have some solid leads and some solid improvements. they won't roll out necessarily in the next update, but we will be having some big news soon on this. So I just want to let you guys know the team is actively working and we're actually going to have something big soon. So let's move on. Let's move on to operator balancing. We've got a mix of buffs and nerfs, and the first one we'll be talking about is Ash. So here's a little spoiler. With the addition of our next season's operator, we wanted to make sure Ash still has a clear identity. The new operator coming next season is slower but more versatile. While Ash is also about speed and aggressive entry, Ash's breaching rounds also have a delay before they explode, which gives defenders some time to react. So we're actually using the opportunity to make the explosion itself more threatening. So increasing the explosion damage from 50 to 100. And then we're going to be keeping an eye on this change, but we think it's a pretty solid change. Next up is Finka. So a little nerf on Finka. Her adrenaline surge is meant to help turn around a fight, but instantly brings the entire team back to full health. It was a bit too strong. So we're actually reducing it by 50% instead of full health. And you can still overheal if you have some health, and Finka can still swing important fights, but the damage dealt to her teammates matter a bit more now. Next up is Fuse. So a little nerf to Fuse in two ways. First, we're increasing the warning range of his cluster charges from 5 meters to 10. And his grenades are intentionally chaotic and can bounce pretty far. And so the larger the warning range should give you more time to react and better understand where cluster charges are coming from. We're also removing the small hole that Fuse creates when you do it on a reinforced wall. And we saw that at higher levels, this hole to peak was a bit, it wasn't being used correctly, or it was very difficult to balance. So it wasn't the main reason we wanted Fuse or how we wanted Fuse to be. And so this adjustment really puts him to where we think he should be as an attacker. Moving on to our next attacker, Dokopi. A small buff here is we actually, when attackers access a hacked defender camera, the defender team used to see it, and now next update, they won't know which operators are using the hacked camera. So we're removing that information, but the defenders will still know there's a camera network has been hacked, but they won't know who's using it. Next up is Jaeger. So for Jaeger, we're making a pretty interesting change to the Magpie. So after intercepting a projectile, it will actually go on a 9-second cooldown. While it's recharging, it will blink and you'll hear an audio cue. And when it comes back online, you'll hear that too. It creates a bit of a back and forth around the gadget. The rapid abilities from operators like Ying Fuse won't necessarily burn through the Magpie immediately, but it'll actually become relevant after. So if there will be a bit more play on how you enter and like listening to the cues, but we do think this will definitely create an interesting dynamic for Jaeger in the future. Next up, a buff to Capcan. So a smaller quality of life has been added. It's basically we're making when you equip and deploy his EDDs much faster. So from 1 second, we're actually making it 0.4 seconds to deploy it. So it's pretty fast to go around and put his EDDs on doors. So this should make Capcan very, very versatile and quick at setting up. Next, a pretty big, basically a general change to damage from fire and toxic gas, from Capital's fire and smoke's toxic gas. So basically it will actually bypass DB&O now. So if the instant you get poisoned, you will die, or on fire, you'll be eliminated rather than being downed. And also with the area effect damage, sorry, there's like giant lightnings going on right outside our office and everyone's kind of observing this. And with an area effect damage, getting down often just meant crawling around for a few seconds before dying anyway. So this really makes it harder for Smoke and Capital to understand where they actually finished the fight, so we've made this change. Rook's armor will also not prevent this type of elimination. Lastly, friendly fire will now be disabled during prep phase from fire and Smoke's toxic gas. So griefing is kind of removed from that. And yeah, this is pretty much our balancing for the operators. And we might have one more operator news, PL, right? I think so. Okay, so let's jump into the next operator news. And
I decide when to restrain and when to kill. Only the best call the shots.
if you caught that, yes, we have a new operator joining. Say hello to Zofia. Zofia is a versatile attacker equipped with the KS-79 lifeline modified grenade launcher that can fire 2 different types of projectiles. You have impact and concussive grenades. Rather than explain everything, we're already playing the video, but yeah, so first you have our impact grenades. These are mainly about destruction, utility. You can open up walls, hatches, and of course she has a concussive grenade as well. You can swap to this, and the concussive grenade, as you can see, instantly concusses enemies when they're in radius. But actually, let's actually jump into some gameplay footage to show you a bit more about how Zofia will be playing in our game. So it makes Zofia a very versatile operator. She can create openings, clear utility, gather information, then immediately transition into an aggressive push. For her weapons, she comes equipped with the M762 assault rifle and the RG15 pistol. Really excited to see how she fits in the attacker lineup and what kind of strategy you guys build around. All right, that brings us to the end of today's dev briefing, guys. As you can see, there's a lot happening in Rainbow Six Mobile right now, and we're continuing to improve the competitive experience. We are bringing you guys a big new mode, leaderboard revamp, match history, a lot of improvements to hit registration, network stability, and performance. And we have also more to come, like the ranked hub, new ranked reset, master mode. We'll hopefully have way more news for you in the next dev briefing. We also will have a new competitive map reveal soon, and we'll be talking about that in the next dev briefing as well. As always, keep playing, keep sending us your feedback, especially on some of the new systems coming in, and we'll keep iterating and improving them. On behalf of the entire team, thank you for your time, thank you for your passion, and being a part of the Rainbow Six game and community. Hope you guys enjoy the new update, and we'll see you in game soon.